Hello everybody, it's me, Albert, Jesus, Chewy, and then there's Charlie behind the camera. Today we're going to rewind the clock 150 years back to the Civil War.
The Civil War is called the First Modern War.
And that title is 100% accurate.
Let's take a look at 4 inventions used during the Civil War that would impact the war's outcome and American business.
Many of these inventions have changed over the years, but the beginnings occurred during the Civil War.
Lincoln was the first president to be able to communicate with officers right on the spot.
He allowed for real-time strategy in meetings during the battles.
In 1861, the Union established a U.S. military telegraph corps, also known as the USMTC, led by Andrew Carnegie.
Within the first year of inventing the telegraph, they strung 4,000 miles of telegraph wire, trained 1,200 operators, and sent over 1 million messages. Here's telegraph wire.
The South lacked the technology and industrial ability to build such a large-scale communication project.
We often see many trains today, but believe it or not, 150 years ago, trains were not seen as often.
Before the Civil War, armies had never used railroads in wars before.
Railroads allowed troops to move far distances in a short amount of time.
They also helped keep troops supplied. At the First Battle of Bull Run in July 1861, a train came to reinforce the Confederate troops.
This led to Confederates winning that battle.
Both armies, but mainly the North, placed supplies like food and ammunition along rail lines.
That way they could be quickly transported to troops that need them.
Historians argue that the North's use of railroads largely contributed to their success in the Civil War.
So what made the North use railroads?
Before Lincoln was the president, he was a lawyer in Illinois. There, he defended the interests of railroad companies.
As a politician, Lincoln had promoted the expansion of railroads throughout the country.
Lincoln argued that railroads were vital to the nation's infrastructure.
And he was right.
Railroad owners in the North were more interested in making a profit than supporting the North in the Civil War.
In 1862, to solve this problem, Congress passed a law giving the government authority to take possession of railroads for wartime use.
The North had larger railroad systems than the South, which helped them move supplies and troops much more easily.
If Lincoln and Congress stuck with more established, yet slower, methods of travel, or if they hadn't recognized the opportunity of using railroads to move and supply the army,
The war would have lasted longer and thousands of additional troops and civilians would have died.
Northern troops could outlast Southern brigades thanks to the Union Army's railroad logistics.
Troops that are low on supplies, hungry, and tired can't win battles.
The first time aerial aid was used was in the Civil War.
hot air balloons helped the army make maps.
Hot air balloons used by the Union Army could help tell where Confederate troops were advancing up to 15 miles away.
The hot air balloons were used for spying on the enemies.
The Union Army built 7 balloons, 12 field gas generators, and a flat-topped balloon barge.
A balloon barge was a specially made flat-top aircraft carrier created by removing the superstructure and engines of an old steamer boat named George.
Matthew Brady, a student of the telegraph inventor, was known for shooting pictures of U.S. celebrities and presidents since the 1840s.
Brady pushed innovations in wet plate technology, and this allowed him to print unlimited pictures and of much larger prints.
He became obsessed with documenting the war and hired 300 photographers to shoot scenes of camps and battlefields and to take portraits too.
Brady hired so many photographers that he died penniless in New York decades later.
He got 18 to 19 photos of presidents and thousands of pictures of the war. Inventions and innovations like these didn't just change the way people fought wars.
They also changed the way people lived.